Hello and welcome to Nitro Talk. If you're into Nitro, I'm into Nitro. I'd love to have you join the community here. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. We're going to talk a little bit today about starter boxes, the Ofna starter box here specifically. I've talked about this box many times. It is my favorite box, my go-to box. I've been using this particular, not this exact one, but the same box for a very long time. Also, anyone who's watched the channel for a long time kind of knows how I kind of do my stuff in cycles. I have multiple of these starter boxes, right? So when one dies, I always have a backup ready, right? So this one's next in line right here. When this starter box goes, it will be retired. This will become my current starter box. And then this one will be rebuilt. And then once it's rebuilt, it will be in line behind this one to be the next starter box. You get what I'm saying? So I had this box. I tell you what, I'm surprised actually that this box is still running. You know, maybe it's not the best thing that I don't have total confidence in it. When I go to the track, I take this with me as well. I feel like this may be on its last days. I do not want to retire it yet. That's another thing. If you know about me, I like to run stuff till it goes, of natural causes, right? I don't want to prematurely end the life of this box. I want it to live its days out. As long as it wants to turn motors over, I want it to do it. But, so like I was saying, I had a little issue with the box here. So the first thing I noticed when going to the first thing I noticed was that it wouldn't turn off. The switch was like stuck in the on position. I would hit off and it would spring back over to on. It wouldn't stay in the off position, but now magically it is staying in the off position. That had happened first, right? I noticed the thing with the switch. Didn't really bother me because I'm running a LiPo in here, and I do not leave it connected. When I'm not using the box, I disconnect the battery. So the switch stuck didn't bug me that much. It was still working. But then I went to actually use the box. It was working for at least 1 or 2 weekends with the messed up switch. But then I went to use it and nothing happened. So I wanted to test and see. I figured it was probably the switch because the switch was giving me issues. So what I did, how you bypass the switch, just disconnect one of the lines from it. There's 2 lines running to the switch. Just disconnect one and touch it to the other. So once you got them both connected, the starter box should operate if it's your bad switch. So that's what told me my switch was bad. Okay. So what I did, I wanted to still run that day. What I did was, because I'm going to be replacing the switch anyway. The switch is bad, right? So the switch is coming out. I bent the tab over on it, and I used that to wedge the wire in there so it's touching the other one. Wedged it in position so that the starter box would work and I could use it. So you know, now that that switch is magically clicking on and off again, I'm going to hook it back up and see if it's magically working again. Let's see that. Just to see. Plug it back in. Come on now, there we go. Go ahead and turn it off. We should not be working. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Still not working. So even though the clicker is working again, the switch is not. So bad switch. These switches are super easy to replace. They just have two push-in tabs on the side. Take a screwdriver, push the tab in, and you can push the switch right out. You can, trust me. You know, it's easy. Let me try to do it with actually using two hands. There we go. Alright, so disconnect it. There's our old bad switch. Luckily, I keep pretty much anything I would need on hand. So these switches come with a little dust / weather cover there. Sorry about that. Had an alarm going off on my phone and it was vibrating. I heard it vibrating. I was like, what the heck's going on? Anyways, so new switch just pops right on in. Got the nice little cover on it. Turn it off and on. And you just reconnect your wires. I keep them zip tied so they're not loose in here, but that doesn't give you a whole lot of room to work. Alright, so our switch is in. It's in the off position. Should get nothing. Turn it on. Alrighty. So that like I said, that's a super easy fix. Probably the toughest part of that is ordering yourself a switch. Now, little tip, and I've said this before, there are certain things, and these switches here are one of them, where you can get approximately 5 to 10 for approximately double the price of one. Okay, there's many things, maybe not many things, but a good few things in RC that are kind of like that. To get one of these switches delivered to the door, it'd probably be $4 or $5. But you can get a 5-pack for $8, $9. So I always try to opt for the multi-pack so that I have spares, especially something that I know I have multiple boxes. You see this, I got one of those switches on here as well. I have multiple stuff that's going to use it. I ordered me a few. All right, real quick, some talk on the Ofna boxes here. Now, this was something I was thinking about. The old chrome top, okay? We've discussed the chrome top. It's not the Truggy box. The Truggy box, which was chrome top as well, but I don't refer to that one as the chrome. I refer to this super wide one as the Truggy box. I refer to this one as the chrome top. But what I was wondering was, Can I start my Hyper 7 on the chrome top without the width of the box interfering with the arms? If I try to start my buggy on the truggy box, I have to push the arms flat before you can start to push the buggy down. So I wanted to test and see the width, what would go down with that. So I got my Hyper 7 right here, and kind of line it up, and no. As you can see the rear wheels? You can see it? Oh yeah. The buggy is not laying flat on the box. It's laying on the rear arms. So, basically to me that's another truggy box because, yes, okay, hold on a second now. It doesn't mean you can't start it on here. You certainly can. And it's not like it's going to be difficult. You just want extra little couple millimeters to push. That's the only issue. But to me, it means that I don't want to use that one to start the buggy. I want to use one that fits right. But you certainly can, no problem. All right, well, I got the chrome top up here. I wanted to show inside of here a more standard. You know what? Before we do that, so we've seen the purple monster here. That's my main box right now. And for those of you who know what exactly this is the next box in line, but this is no ordinary Q World Ofna starter box. This is my hot rod starter box, as I like to call it. In here, I've got a pair of Trinity Monster Max. I believe they're 15-turn double motors. Those were they're Monster Max. They were made as upgrades for the E-Max. But I wanted to make a super cool hot rod starter box, so I threw them in there. This thing works great, spins super fast and strong. So I don't want this one to die, but I'm certainly ready to start using this thing. I think it's going to be fun. All right. Oh yeah. So what I was wanting to show you with the chrome. Oh, and I got one other thing, but okay, I'll get to that in a second. So inside the chrome top here is like a bone stock setup. They usually don't stay like this for long. You pretty much, when you come across a used one of these in the wild, this is pretty much always gone. That is the original setup to hold the 12-volt gel cell. 9 times out of 10, when you see one of these boxes, that's all gone out of there. You could run it with the gel cell, or you could run it with twin 7.2 volt stick packs, which I never like running a starter box on 2 7.2 volt stick packs. I don't like that. That's my least favorite setup for a starter box. And yeah, as you can see, now I also upgraded the motors in the purple over here. Now these right here are the stock motors. They are 550s, but they're just a plain can 550 motor. In here, I got a pair of the 550 Titans, which are the stock motors from the E-Max. And those work great. I've been using this box for more than 2 years, 3 years. I don't know. I've been using this box for a long time. All right. Okay. The last thing. This is the last thing I wanted to show. And I don't remember ever seeing this before. It's the first. I noticed this. I think it's the first time I've ever seen this. Now you look inside these Q World boxes, and you'll see this, the belt here says Bando. If you can get a look at that. Bando. Come on. Bando. And in the purple one here, it's got the same thing. Same belt. Says Bando. I thought that this was pretty cool. I was looking in here and I noticed that this one does not have a Bando belt. This one says Q World. That's the Q World. That's a lot of people call this the Q World starter box. Come on now. Q World 84 tooth. For the belt is 84 tooth. Do not crimp. Do not crimp. So a Q World belt in there instead of the traditional Bando. All right, that was a little repair, switch repair. How to repair your switch on your starter box. Very, very easy. And also a little look and a little discussion on the Ofna starter box, my personal favorite. I like running gel cells in them. I've been doing I switched to that lipo like a year and a half-ish ago. While I'm talking about it, that battery has held up very well. You know, I've had good luck with these Fluorions. In general, I've had really good luck with these Fluorion cells. But this one, I've been using this in a starter box, which is tough duty. Starter box duty is not easy duty for a battery. This thing has been in the starter box for like a year and a half. And as you can see, it is still hard as a rock. No puff whatsoever. Very, very pleased with that LiPo battery right there. What was the other? Was I gonna say something else? I got a bunch of videos I'm working on at the time being. One of them is the Conrod in the Traxxas 3.3. I got another Hyper 7 buggy video coming out. We're going to talk about some aspects of that. But all right, that was the starter box vid real quick. Thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate all of y'all. See you next time. Have a great one. All right, hopping on here at the end. Classic Todd fashion. Two quick things. Number one, yes, that box is dusty. My bad. All right, but the other thing that I wanted to mention about these boxes was you can adjust the height of the lid. Now, a very important thing about starting a car on a starter box is you want the wheel to spin up before it makes contact with the flywheel. You don't want the flywheel to touch the rubber wheel before the motors start spinning. You want to get some RPMs going on the starter box wheel before you make contact. So if your box lid is too low and the starter box is not having a chance to spool up before making contact, you can raise the lid here. It's very easy and simple. If you look through the bottom, you have an access hole, and there is a Phillips screw in there with which you can adjust the height of your bar, thereby adjusting the height of the lid. All right. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see y'all later. Have a great day. One final thing. Two final things. So, and I did explain this in my earlier starter box video, but for those who don't, and you see all these things on the back of here, you're like, what the heck is the deal with that? Those are soft catch tabs for the lid. Without those in place, the lid goes metal on metal and scratches the back of your starter box. Because, you know, I'm very, very concerned with getting scratches on my box. We cannot have one little tiny scratch on my beautiful box here, right? So that's what those are for, to keep the box from getting a scratch back there. Then the other thing, real quick, I wanted to say was when I said this box has the stock 550 motors and that they are just a plain can motor. You see how that catches the door nice and soft? Just some mounting tabs is all those are, and they stay on there pretty good. Take off the one side and put them on the box, and then just leave the backing on there so it's not sticky. So I said, yeah, these are a plain can 550 motor, but I did want to mention real quick, they are plain can 550s with a torque sleeve. They do have torque sleeves on the motors, just like the Titans from the Emax also have torque sleeves on them. I'm sure all you Nitro guys are super hip to torque sleeves and what they're used for. All right, that's enough with the starter boxes. Have a great one.